number 7 saying, look at your own behaviour. And it says sometimes we may be judging someone for something that we do ourselves or have done. And for example, the next time you find yourself yelling at someone while you're driving, ask yourself, have I ever driven poorly? And it says, of course we all have. And I think there's a couple of layers to that. One is that, the driving example, that we've all made a mistake or done something wrong, or whatever it is on the road. But actually sometimes have we made mistakes that we've learned from in the past, and then actually is there a risk that you're less tolerant of other people then going through the steps and making those same mistakes that you've already made yourself?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, Ryan, but you, anything on that one?
No, I think I've completely forgotten what the point. What was that one?
That was look at your own behaviour. So are you judging someone for something
That's
you
it.
might have
Yeah,
done yourself?
that was it. Yeah. So I think it's very easy to kind of go, that person's a donut for doing that. But 6 months ago, you were making the same mistakes, and you've only just learned how to perhaps not make that mistake, or to be aware of that mistake and kind of move around it. And I think, it's important to remember one of the earlier ones, which was just like me, right? Because you could still make that mistake, and just because it affects you from the other way around doesn't mean that you're perfect. And it's just important to just kind of be real to yourself about what the expectations are of those around you. If you're not perfect, then they can't be.
Yeah, too right. And I think that perfectionism thing's a real dangerous thing, isn't it? If we try and do that in a good start. Actually, Mark was talking about that. Mark was talking about perfectionism in another video, but that's another thing. But looking at your own behaviour, I've interpreted this one as sometimes you see since doing this whole thing, I see behaviours in others that actually trigger me because it's like me. Like sometimes when I've seen people, and there's some people that I've seen that have been really enthusiastic, and sometimes I think, God, it's just too much enthusiasm, but that actually is a reflection of me. And I recognise that. I go, oh, I'm not really liking that, but that's actually a reflection of yourself. And so when I found that, I think, oh, hang on, they're very similar to me, but they're starting to annoy me. And I think that whole thing about being really reflective about seeing things, actually seeing yourself in the mirror. So, how does that, if I'm feeling annoyed now, then when I'm doing this, how do other people feel? And I think that's a real sort of 360 thing that I'm really becoming more aware of, definitely in the latter part of this year. So thank you for that, Leah. I think that behaviour thing is really, really important. And actually, you see yourself in others, and I think sometimes that can trigger you because there's sometimes the things that you don't necessarily like about yourself, and they come forward and that triggers you. So it's really strange, but I really like that. Thanks, Lee.
I will say, Joe, I can definitely see why you talking to someone like you would be a situation you find quite annoying. I can relate to that one quite strongly.
Could you imagine two Joes in one room?
I don't think I could deal with it.
I couldn't deal with it.
I wind these guys up too much. I clearly wind Ryan and Lee up far too much. Not wind them up, actually really annoy them. But I go, right. Then I post the Inspiration Nation chat. What about this video? What about that video? What about all this? And they go, oh my God, what's Jose doing right now? Shut up.